All rise. Commissioner Honor, if you may lead us in a prayer, moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. I'm sorry, Commissioner Notstein.
God, our Creator, you give us breath to each person you made. You treasure the gifts of our each unique person. But when that life becomes a burden rather than a gift, wholeness. When darkness strangles the will to live. When days become endless nights, shine on us. When no one seems to understand. When we walk and wait alone, embrace us with your presence. Where there is despair, bring hope. Where there is shame, give value and worth. Where there is emptiness, bring fulfillment. Where there is suffering in mind and body, bring healing. God of hope, hear our prayer for life. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. The first item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held September 5th, 2024.
Motion approved. Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning county business? I do know we have a large contingency of local law enforcement with us. The sheriff has asked for a couple moments here to speak, so Sheriff Ziegler, yes, you may come up here. Yeah, sure.
So we're here representing the Carbon County Chiefs of Police Association with a letter of appreciation. I'd like to ask Tom Connors from the dog shelter to come up. The Carbon County Chiefs of Police Association would like to officially recognize Tom Connors. Mr. Connors has been an incredible asset to the entire county of Carbon and demonstrates an unwavering commitment to protecting not only animals across the country, our county, but residents as well. Specifically, in regards to the law enforcement community, this is a following example of Mr. Connors' unwavering commitment. In the early morning hours of Friday, 9/6/2024, a search warrant service was scheduled to be served in an attempt to take dangerous drugs off the streets of our community. Actionable intelligence was received that the residents was the subject of a search warrant, had two large dogs present who could potentially attack members of the entry team. As part of our pre-planning, the team reached out to Mr. Connors for assistance, and without hesitation, Mr. Connors agreed to assist the team. As officers made entry into the residence, they immediately encountered the dogs. Mr. Connors was instrumental in securing the dogs, which ensured the safety of the officers and allowed them to successfully serve the search warrant without incident. Furthermore, Mr. Connors placed the dogs in the basement area of the residence to allow officers to conduct their business. Mr. Connors remained with the team and secured the dogs until the operation came to a conclusion. Mr. Connors also ensured that the dogs were not injured. The Carbon County Chiefs of Police Association would like to extend its sincere gratitude and appreciation to Mr. Connors for his participation in this successful operation and his contribution to protect the officers involved. Thank you. This is only one example of what Mr. Connors does for the county. I know Chief Schatz had an example with a fire in the borough of Jim Thorpe, as well as any chief or law enforcement officer will say the same thing. Whenever we call, Tom shows up. As a result of all of our participation last week, 1.08 pounds of meth were seized, 2.46 ounces of mushrooms, 14.5 grams of marijuana, 36 tablets of clozapam, 77 Suboxone strips, 1 Smith & Wesson .357 revolver. The individual was charged with 1 felony count of person not to possess a firearm and 5 felony charges of possession with intent to deliver. We would not be able to have achieved those results successfully without Mr. Connors and the 9 different agencies that participated in that operation. So thank you very
Thank you.
much, we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate you, and that's why we do it. We're here for you 24/7, and we always will be. So you can call me and count on me. That operation, it was incredible to watch everybody work as a team. Our law enforcement in Carbon County, our first responders are second to none. You guys are the best. So this is our little way of saying thank you and our way of giving back. So please don't ever be afraid to call if you need us, and we'll be there to help you. Dogs are tough sometimes and they're hard to read, but with experience you get to learn certain things that might be able to help. So that's why we're there to help you whenever you need us when it comes with a dog, and we appreciate what you do. Your special job that day was to keep me safe, and I'm here today because you did. So I appreciate that, so does my family. Thank you all for all you do. Thanks for the county for letting me do that. God bless you all.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. This is an honor. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank law enforcement for coming out today to recognize Tom. Tom is one of those county employees, like he said, and pointed out by the law enforcement here about being 24/7, being there when he's needed. He's always on calls. He is an outstanding employee when it comes to the animal shelter, and he's always been top-notch, underpaid like many, never whines about having to come out. Many times he has worked holidays almost every day, every week, 6-7 days a week, and long hours. And I really appreciate law enforcement for coming out to recognize him, and thank Tom for his continued outstanding job that he does at the animal shelter.
It should be noted, Amy, that today we have the District Attorney's Office here, Sheriff's Office, the Chiefs Association, the County Detectives, and the Animal Shelter. So I think that's an awesome, everyone working together for a common goal. And when you hear the number of drugs that were taken off the street, that's really impressive.
And Tom is the animal shelter. I can't say enough about him, and I've already been up there. I think that when the state police were there, and I think one of their comments, never get rid of the dog shelter, but I think it's the dog shelter is Tom. And I mean, he's been doing this for years, and it would never be where it is today. And I hope it keeps going like that. And by the way, Tom, you have to live to be 150 years old. Because I don't know if we're gonna find something to replace
I'm
you.
hoping in a few years, if I retire, the commissioners will allow me to continue to work with these fine law enforcement officers.
Well, we
and
have to
help them
accept
out.
your retirement.
There you
Don't
go.
forget.
But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No.
Thank you all, and everyone,
That's
please
what-
stay safe.
Thank you.
It's all good. Thank you. Thank you. I gotta go back to work. Enjoy your meeting.
With that, are there any other guests concerning county business? Hearing none?
Our next item is the proclamation Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. We need a motion to adopt proclamation number 2024-010.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
And with us today is Mark Smith, the Carbon County Coroner, and Larissa Kimmel, System of Care Coordinator for MHDS.
Would you like to read the proclamation?
I'll be happy to. Whereas suicide is a public concern, and whereas in the state of Pennsylvania, one person dies by suicide every 4 hours, making it the second leading cause of death for ages 15 to 34, and the fourth leading cause of death for ages 35 to 54. And whereas over 5.4 million people in the United States have lost a loved one to suicide. And whereas each member of our community is valued and irreplaceable. And whereas talking openly about stress and psychological health builds trust, reduces barriers to care, and enables early intervention. And whereas local and statewide suicide prevention efforts should be developed and encouraged to the maximum extent possible. And whereas Carbon County volunteers, the county coroner, and Carbon Monroe Pike Mental Health and Developmental Services have come together to create a local outreach to suicide survivors, or LOSS team. And whereas the LOSS team is a post-vention strategy to support and connect suicide bereaved loved ones to resources to prevent further suicide loss. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Carbon County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim September 2024 as Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month, and September 10, 2024 as Suicide Awareness and Prevention Day in Carbon County, Pennsylvania, adopted by the Carbon County Board of Commissioners this 12th day of September 2024.
And with us today to receive the proclamation is our County Coroner, Mark Smith, and Larissa Kimmel from MHDS. So if you want to come up and present. Oh, do this first. And we'll let you say a few words. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to offer some comments. Well, thank you so very much for having this proclamation today. Suicide prevention is near and dear to my heart. For all of the work that I've done, for all of the lives that I have been touched with, either personally or professionally, people who have struggled, and we know that something simple can save a person's life. In the county, we have a lot of different things that are going on, and we want to make sure that you all are aware of the efforts that we are making above and beyond. But first and foremost, let me make sure that you understand we have a lot of resources within our county. We have county crisis, so if anybody is struggling, all you need to do is dial the numbers 988 or text, and you will be connected to a local person who is able to talk through the issues at hand. We have a walk-in center through St. Luke's University Health Network, that if people are struggling and they need some mental health support, they can go to the location, they can meet with someone directly, and then they will make sure that they have what is needed to continue with their journey. We have mental health services, both public and private, and we encourage everyone to be aware of all of those. I did want to pull out my notes just so I don't miss anything. You heard in the proclamation that we partnered with the coroner's office to develop a local outreach to survivors of suicide team. This is going to be a wonderful resource so that we can prevent further suicide losses as a result of the contagion that occurs afterwards. If you're interested in learning more, we're doing an open house by Zoom on October 21st. And you can just connect with me by email and I'll send you the link. And you can just take some time to learn a little bit more about the LOSS team. You might be curious, and this is an opportunity to learn more. We're going to be doing a training for anyone that is remotely interested in being a volunteer, so being an active member of the LOSS team, and that will be November 23rd. It's an all-day Saturday event, and all the details will be finalized shortly. We also have been working on another team, which is a suicide fatality review team, and Mark has really been pivotal in all of this. These teams are designed to break down the event, to break down the history of the individual who died by suicide. So around the table are members of county services, public and private services, whoever had contact with that individual that could offer a little bit of an insight as to what happened, what led up to the event. And as we review the cases, we do keep confidentiality. We don't want personal information to get out, but the information is used by the team to identify what are the risk factors and where we all could have stepped in to prevent an event like this from occurring. So we come up with some action items to put out throughout the community, throughout different organizations, to make sure that we are putting more of a safety net in place to save lives. I'm really excited because we can also announce that we are at Mental Health and Developmental Services a sub-recipient of a grant project that is coming from the federal government. And the Office of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services received a grant that they're using for suicide prevention. There is a program called the Garrett Lee Smith Program, and this is for youth suicide prevention specifically. So with the Garrett Lee Smith team, Carbon Monroe Pike Mental Health and Developmental Services is working to develop what's called a CAMS response. And this will be for youth that are up to age 24, and CAMS stands for Collaborative Assessment and Management of Suicidality. So when we know that there is a youth that is struggling with suicide,
because of the situations they get into, so I would ask that really take a good hard look at that so we can concentrate on those people as well. I know every time we have an incident, it's not the best scene a lot of times, that we do immediately call in crisis counseling for these people, but it's pretty hard to get a lot of these people to attend those things. The old macho days that, yeah, I can handle it, but a lot of people cannot handle the stress of some of the situations. But thank you.
And it's not always immediate.
No.
It's
No.
always somewhere down the line it comes back and just returns. But that's a great example of being able to look into these things and see where we need to apply the resources into that crisis intervention.
You know, it's not only the people, it's the getting to the families and educating them when an incident occurs and what to be on the lookout for, change of attitude, depression, or turning to drinking and other things that a lot of the signs that are, look, this person needs help. So, but
Yeah.
thank you.
sure, and definitely our goals are not just postvention, but really prevention. We need to get, ahead of it. What's happening before they get to that waterfall? How are people falling in the water? Well, let's get the net and keep them out of that so that they don't fall over the waterfall.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item is the report of executive sessions held.
There was one held on Friday, the 6th of September at 9:30 a.m., and it was to discuss personnel.
The department reports, the budget transfers.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
There are no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures, approval of payroll check numbers 76211 through 76230, and direct deposit numbers 6068333 through 6068777 for the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $698,985.05. This is the payroll dated September 6, 2024.
Motion to ratify.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 245875 through 246037 for expenditures of the general fund clearing account totaling $931,699.86.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The treasurer's report?
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The personnel report for county departments.
Motion approved.
Second?
Before, just like to make a comment here. I know last week I had said we had put the salary board in recess. We will reconvene the salary board on Thursday, the 19th, during the commissioners' meeting.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Next item is courts. Number 24426, requesting approval.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
District Attorney, Item number 24-427.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Item number 24-428 for the district attorney.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Lonto. Item numbers 24-429, the fall foliage service, and item number 24-430, the MATP program for 24-25.
Motion approved next two.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Next item, multimodal transportation grant program, item number 24-431, contains a resolution, number 24-028.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
The solicitor's report.
Thank you. For the 525 Iron Street property, item number 24-432, seeking a motion for acceptance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
And next, items 24-433 through 24-440, seeking a motion to adopt the resolutions 24-029 through 24-036, honoring Bruce Solomon, Francis V. Lukasevich, Ken McCardle, Robert Murphy Jr., Thomas G. Lager, Vincent Yike Sr., William Dean, and William Sheehan for 50 years of service to the Jim Thorpe Diligent Fire Company.
Motion to approve and have the solicitor read each one.
Second.
Oh, no!
We will scratch the reading.
Copies will be available for us.
Okay, Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes, it should be noted, though, they are having a 150th anniversary celebration this weekend. Each one of these individuals gave over 50 years to their fire company, and each one is kind of faction toward each. So I would ask you if you have time to spend some time at noon at the Diligent Hose Company, and you can really hear a history on each one of them, both professional and colorful. So, thank you.
Any further business? Hearing none. Commissioners' reports, Mr. Honor?
I just want to congratulate Tom again. Well deserved. He's on the job 24/7, 365 days a year. So congratulations to him again. But I do want to go back to some of the motions. The one where they've made the trip to Kalahari. I think it's very important that we get awareness out there. And we're actually working on things right now to get out to the school districts, to get speakers. The only thing that's missing here for me, we always have it that it's data driven. I'd like to know how many people went, what are their comments, you know what I mean? To see if it's actually working. And like I said, we're working on things right now that hopefully we'll be able to announce in the next couple of weeks, that we're gonna offer grants to area, either schools or foundations that they could come for money to help this drug addiction. And I said, like, Chris Herring is a phenomenal speaker. I wish everybody could see him in Carbon County, and I'm hoping that we can get to that at some point. But I'd like to have that data, you know, but I'll have to send a letter to one of them, and I'd like to see that for our information to move forward to combat the drugs. The other thing is the Bridge 19. We rushed through to get the grant. I think we only had 2 days to do it. And here's something that's very important, that a grant coordinator is very important. A grant writer is very important for the county. This got done in 2 days' time. They reviewed it, and we had actually requested for a waiver. And this request that we have here today will save the county $500,000 I think that's something great. And if anybody ever has a question, if a grant corridor is worth it, yes. And that is the end of my report.
Mr. Notstein?
Okay, first I want to thank everyone for attending our 911 program yesterday at Josiah White Park, those that can make it, or those that have attended any other in one of the other municipalities throughout the county, and honoring our first responders for their sacrifices to their communities and their commitment to their communities and dedication as being exampled this coming Saturday with Jim Thorpe Fire Department, and all those proclamations were, most of them were for 50 years of service. These people are still trying to build up their retirement fund, so they don't know retirement. These people that are there, except for the one that unfortunately passed during his tenure as a volunteer, the others continue to respond, and they know no retirement. And so we're going to be honoring these people on Saturday with Jim Thorpe and their 150th anniversary. Lee Heighton as well will be hosting their 150th anniversary this month as well. 150 years of service. They'll be honoring their 50-year members, as well as the dedication on Thursday the 26th, an open house. And then on Saturday the 21st, they will have a fireman's parade. As of now, we unfortunately lost one of the bands, cannot participate now, so we're down to about 8 bands. Hopefully we'll have favorable weather. It is rain or shine. At last I talked to them earlier this week, there'll be at least 3 divisions, at least 25 units. A lot of people wait to the last minute to register, so come out and support these volunteers at any of their functions. These people don't only respond to emergency calls, they're out there doing education in the schools, etc. They're doing training, fundraising, and responding to all kinds of incidents, no matter what time of day, no matter what holiday, no matter what family dinner or birthday that they may be at. So please come out and support them anytime they do have a fundraising function, to help them purchase equipment to keep them safe, and as well as yourself. These people save the county taxpayer millions of dollars every year. Again, thank you to Tom for his great job that he does at the animal shelter, and doing his best to get these animals placed in the proper homes, and trying to keep those numbers down. So that's all I have.
I do want to continue on one thing. Mike just showed me this. They did give me a list of everybody that went to the event, but I would encourage everybody that's on this list. I wish my email is rarner@carboncounty.net, and I wish they would send me comments on. I mean, and I said, we're really concerned about it. Like, we want to move forward on, we're actually working on a commercial for the county, and we want input from everyone. So, that's my email. Maybe I shouldn't have did that, now I'm gonna get everybody. But I would encourage them, any one of them, to just send comments to me, please. Okay, Mike.
I just didn't want you, because I know it came in late and I just saw it here on the screen. I didn't want you to. The only thing I have 3 things. One is, I think that the agenda today kind of shows we're in the week where 911 anniversary date. And when you see that there was time taken to honor how police and emergency services and everybody work together is one thing. And it's 150th anniversary of the Diligent Hose Company and what all our firemen do in the whole county. So I think it was, when you look at the agenda, that kind of really reflects that, and we should be very proud of that. The other point I'd like to make is Commissioner Arner, along with Commissioner Notstein, we've all been working very hard in coming up with mini grants to get that opioid money back out to the communities, back out to the people that have been affected by it. Because I think that was the initial intent, or that is the intent, to educate and prevent. And that's what we're doing our best to get that money taken care of, and Commissioner Arner has mentioned some of those items. And then finally, because this is always a hot topic, or has been for a couple months, the commissioners had the opportunity to take a tour of the canal, the spillways down in excuse me, down in Weissport this past week. Very impressed, very impressive. It's very close. The Canal Commission has done an unbelievable job down there. I think the contractors, when you go down and you see where it was to where it's come, is phenomenal. There's a lot to be proud of there. I know it was a frustrating couple of months here, and hurting both Weissport's economy, Jim Thorpe's, everybody. But I know that is scheduled to be open shortly, very shortly. I'd send you the commission. I know they're pushing to get that. I don't want to put a date out there because every time I give a date, it's always wrong. So,
It's close.
but it is very close. I mean, it is something that when those who use the canal or have frequent the canal for recreation or whatever, I mean, it is very, very impressive of what they've done. And I do thank those out there who have been patient, but I mostly thank on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, the Canal Commission, because they did take a lot of heat for closing and what all went on there, but they stayed the course, and I gotta tell you, they've finished it. They've got that job finished. It really looks good. It really does.
I think once it opens up, take a walk up the trail, ride your bike up the trail and stop and look, and how impressive the two overflows that they did, how impressive they are, and what has been done to prevent the washout. It's only two of them. There's another major one that they'll have to look for more funding for, but you'll see how impressive it is and why it took so long and why we had to close the trail, because there was absolutely no room to move between the canal and the bank going down to the river, which they may have to put a guide or some kind of fence or a guide rail on just to keep people from falling off, because it is so narrow at some spots. So it's impressive, really is.
That's all I have. Anything further? Meeting adjourned. We'll now move to the election board. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, Jen. How are you?
So, number one on our list is the approval of the minutes from election board meeting held on July 11th, 2024.
Second,
Mr. Arner? Mr. Notstein?
abstained since I was absent.
Mr. Sifranco?
Yes.
Are there any guests concerning election board business? Nope. Any further business that you would like to discuss?
I just think what needs to be kind of brought out is that the election, everything's going well. We aren't having any major issues down at the election office. We are looking at heightening some security around the county. We've had a meeting discussing that. We'll be in meetings with the sheriff because I mean it is a tough time of it is a very emotionally charged election. Let's put it to you that way. And with that being said, we just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. It was also brought to the attention by an email from Jen that we need some more lighting down in the parking lot, as a lot of our election workers are elderly, and it is a tripping hazard for anyone. You don't have to be elderly to trip. But so we are currently, I guess Larry, am I correct?
Yes.
Is looking at getting some more lighting along the buildings and in the area down there to light the parking lot up. And it's not only election day. I mean, any day, every night, it's kind of dark. So we're going to be getting some more lighting in that area there to help in the safety. And there's some other issues that, as Jen ties them all up, I'm sure she'll make us aware of that when time goes on. But I'd like to thank her for her forward thinking
Thank you.
and all that's going on here. So, anything else? I don't have anything. That is all I have.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
There you go. I guess we'll start with Amy.
Good morning. With regards to Bridge 19, refresh my memory, which bridge is this one down?
The Beltsville.
Beltsville. That's over at Holcomb? And, for the fall foliage service, how does someone reserve a spot up at the lake to be able to then use this land of service?
And that,
Yeah, they have,
There's an app.
they have an app. They have
on the online that they will have to go to.
Probably on our website.
Yeah, it should be on the
Okay.
website, hopefully.
Okay, thank you.
If you want to get more detailed with that, I'd call Angelia down parking. I mean, I know it's online but she can really explain it.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Copies of the proclamation as well as all the resolutions, please. And then, regards to one thing that you guys didn't talk about, I see the new EMA coordinator has been hired.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. How many applicants were there? How did you decide on Zachary?
17. Oh, go ahead.
Well, Wayne will go on, we hear, but there were 17 applicants, and
And we
we,
threw Wayne's out
right,
right
right.
away. There were actually 18, but we narrowed it down to 17.
So the commissioners narrowed it down to 7, and then we had an interview process that we went through for 7. All 7 were very well qualified, spoke very well, and then the commissioners, obviously, through the interview process, came up with the final name. It's a trainee right now, and that's why the salary board went in recess, and we'll come back in next Thursday and finish setting all that up. But that's where we're at. I don't know, I'll let Wayne speak now, because he would have given each person's name, and we'd be. Go
Let
ahead.
me take the heat. No, it's a lot of good applicants. Narrowed it down to what we thought were the best 6 to interview, most experience and qualifications, etc. And interviewed 6 people. The top 3, I would say, were tough decision narrowing down which one. And after much discussion, I would say, with Mark Lesnick being involved and Human Resources and 3 commissioners as to which one. It came down to I would tell you this, there's a good one that was highly qualified, had most of the certification. Unfortunately, there's some issues that prevented us from hiring, such as salary and residency and other commitments that that person had. So I narrowed it down to the next 2, and I'm sure either one of them would have been great. Some had the qualifications, some were good in one area and the other good in another area. So we made our decision with Zach from Lansford. The other person that it narrowed down to was also a county resident, a female, and she was an excellent interview and working on her emergency management degree. Wish we could hire 2 people. Because it is a position that is 24/7, 365. So the person will be starting in 2 weeks. So, yeah, and that's typical, people giving notice. He has a response. He's an active firefighter in the Lansford Fire Department, an officer in the fire department, assistant chief. So he does have some of the required courses. We told him he will be, and we had a meeting, a local emergency planning committee meeting yesterday, as Amy knows, and we had talked about working with Pima and getting this person certified as soon as possible. He has some of the courses already. He'll have to travel maybe to Pima or other areas for certification. A lot of it is online now, not back when I started in 1902. But it was, a lot of it is virtual now, including some courses at Emmitsburg, Maryland. So he'll get his basic certification and then move on to the professional certification. He has 3 years to accomplish that, but he is, the sooner he gets certified, the better for us, because of the reimbursement for the federal government for that 50% of that salary hinges on that certifications. So, looking forward to it. Mark has said that he would assist, in the transition. He's retiring, and wish him well. He's always there when you need him to. So, just like Tom Connors, and those 2 positions, I must say, they don't get paid extra for being on call. Not like some places get paid, to be on call all the time. A lot of the departments, these guys, they didn't get overtime. They put in hours well above. They could put in a full day's work and get called out 10 minutes later and be out all night. So holidays, weekends, emergencies don't, or animal issues like the police department, police officers pointed out there. It's just one of those jobs that you have to have it in your heart, you have to be committed and dedicated, and you want to serve your community. Like they volunteers, you know, they're committed and dedicated, and they're out to help people. They don't ask who when they get a call or what or why they go. So, and I'm sure Zach will do that, and I look forward to working with him.
I would just say that I think that the biggest thing for myself was after Wayne is, number one, he had all interviews were great, but number one, he had some great references. And when we sat down and listened to those and made those calls and who your recommendation letters and who you can call, they spoke very highly. And those that I personally spoke with, obviously are residents within the county and work within that environment. And when you get that kind of backing from people there, that puts you kind of a little another notch. And then the other thing I'll say, and I'm not, while we all value the years of service that many people give to this county, because without them the county wouldn't be where it is, but there is a point when the county has to begin looking for the youth. And this will be the second major hire here in the last 2 months, and we've turned to our youth again to look for the next generation. And Zach brings that to the table. He brings a youthful look. He brings that eagerness, which I think we definitely need in the county, and people who want to be involved and are residents of Carbon County. It's nice to be able to say, hey, you're going to live and work in Carbon County, and that the commissioners are looking at the youth for that. So that was another big factor for me.
And I think even like with us, through this application process, I think even with the 17, all of them were capable of doing it. I mean, when we have applications coming in, you have people that are just filling out to continue their unemployment. But I think it shows the, how could I say, the stature of the emergency services that we have. Where do you ever have an application put out and there's 17, or a job description put out and there's 17 applicants that could do the job? That doesn't happen very often. And I think we were fortunate to have them, but when you went down to the 6 and then the 3 and you're thinking like, any one of them could be it, and I don't think any position since I've been here, we were in a position like that. I mean, it's like, it's phenomenal, the emergency services that we do have in Carbon County and the dedication that they do have to us. So I wanna thank all of them, even the applicants that applied.
Most of them were in for long haul, and I do believe when they say that they were here for long term, because especially the ones from the county, they were not going anywhere. They didn't want to look at moving up or anything. We'll point out that a previous emergency management coordinator that was hired from out of county moved on to work for Pima for several years, went to Bucks County and earned twice as much as I used to earn in Bucks County, and then went now Dallas County in Texas, overseeing a whole county of all the emergency services. Scott Forrester, for I forget what the population, with a couple 100,000 people compared to what we are here, bigger than what it was in Bucks County. I forget, he had called me when he heard the position was open and that. And, he didn't want to apply though, he couldn't afford it, I guess. But he is one of the people that have moved on to right from nothing to the top almost,
And this is one of these jobs like, they asked a lot of questions about it, and they didn't really, a lot of them didn't know. I mean, they knew how it worked, but you're the director, you're the assistant director, you're the mobile unit driver, you're everything. And they didn't really have any problem with that. I mean, and that's what we need. We need somebody that's gonna be dedicated 24 hours a day. And I would agree with this position, like, I think Wayne brought it up, there should be an assistant, because how do you get somebody to dedicate their life 24 hours a day? I mean, this younger people, they have things to do, they're gonna have children that are in Little League, and when something calls, you have to go. It's just like the firemen, and, with the firemen, they might have, some fire companies are low on staff, but you still have somebody, here there's one person, that's it. So I think that might be something we might have to revamp a little bit too in the future. But thank you we have a good candidate, and he's young and hopefully he stays around and doesn't move to Bucks County. All right.
Any further?
That is all I have.
Rachel?
Yes, so do you have a timeline for the lights going up, around the elections office? Is that before?
Talk to Larry Sinicola, because
Well,
it's all in his hands.
I was told it's gonna be permanent and it's gonna be very shortly. I'm hoping
Yes.
it's before, what is the election, the 4th or what?
November
Or the 5th?
5th.
He'll probably
Yeah.
put it up on the 4th.
I think the design that Larry has come up with is originally there were supposed to be some posts and underground wiring and a rather heavy expense to the county. And the commissioners just didn't want to go down that route. And we went to our maintenance director and asked him to come up with some solutions. And after, supposed to be a 5-minute conversation,